Eddie, life in the Philippines. What's it about, right? Clean that lens there. Okay, it does look better. I'll get Ruth's phone here so we don't have to run around here. So, good morning. What we're going to talk about today? Living in the Philippines. Sorry I hadn't done the last couple streams. Feeling a little under the weather. It's, what do they call that? Island crud. Island crud. I think that's what I have. But anyway, what that means is sometimes you're on these islands and you just get that way, right? Let's see if I can find myself. There we are, right there. Okay. So good morning. We Ruth and I this morning got up, and I got up actually a little late. I normally get up early in the morning, and but got up a little late today. We get up at 6 normally. I couldn't sleep last night. A lot of noise. Quiet. Just a lot of noise. And it's overwhelming noise, if you know what I mean. It's something that wakes you up, dogs barking, everything else, you know. So it kind of keeps you hopping. So also today I want to talk about living in the Philippines, things you don't think about, things that happen to you, people don't really tell you or say to you. Some of the guys, well, one guy messaged me yesterday and said that my videos have changed considerably since I got to the Philippines, and I know they have. I know they've gotten really different than what it was at one time. They were more of a different spin. And what I mean by different spin, they were different. There was more people that were asking me questions, but it was simple things that I could answer at the time. But my videos has changed a lot. Sometimes people say maybe a little bit more on the negative side, but it's more of telling the truth and telling what's going on, what is truly happening here. I don't want to portray of things like things aren't well, or the negative aspect of it's a horrible place. It's not. It's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful island. It's not made for everybody. Some people it's a great place to visit. Some people it's a great place to live. And you can live inexpensively here. You just have to watch what you spend, like it is anywhere else. There's do's and don'ts you should not do here. Recently we had an incident. I want to talk about this a little bit. Kind of wait to see if anybody comes on. There was an incident where we had, when you walk down this road, you can see people at the Blessing House, but you can't see the people from the Blessing House on this side. Ruth was doing laundry the other day, and some guy walked up, and he walked up on the fence line, and you had to go through a lot of debris to get to the fence line. So it was kind of something. I don't know that he had intent to do harm, intent to come in the property. I don't know, but it kind of seemed like it was kind of scary. And she was out there by herself. I'm inside here, so I don't really know what to say about that, other than you got to protect yourself and be prepared for that. Be prepared for things like that may happen, because you never know. So how's Pat Evans doing today? Good morning. So you never know who is around you, who is close, who's going to be next to you. You just don't know that. And it can be very, and living in another country, as foreigners, we have rights also, but if a guy confronts you, you have a right to protect yourself. But Ruth felt kind of a little scared about it, and I understand. And he never said, hello, he wanted money. And I don't know, it's the middle of the day, I don't know if he wanted more money or he just wanted money, but you never know. You got to be prepared for stuff like that. You just got to be prepared. People don't realize you just have to be prepared for stuff like that. And this is public, right? We got it public. So, oh, it says 7 on, okay. So, super chat, let's see here. So, let me go back here and live chat. Yeah, Patricia, good morning. How are things? So, you got home, Pat, you got home from your job. You working at the call center right there in Orlando? Yeah, it's nice to see you. Thank you for coming on today. I know you're in the background, listening and chilling. I got my number one thing this morning, my coffee. Good morning. TL Roy, good morning. How you doing, TL? How are things with you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming on. How you doing, TL?
Where's Omer?
Omer is in the bedroom, I think. I think you left him in the room by accident because I didn't let him out.
He's not here. Daddy, you locked him in the bathroom.
I did. Well, maybe he needed to go in the bathroom. Mr. Somebody, high five. Got my evening coffee. I got my morning coffee with the Eiffel Tower. So how's things with you guys doing? Mr. Somebody, how you doing? High five. TL Roy, good morning.
Yeah.
We're here in sunny Philippines. It's actually great skies. It's going to rain today. It's okay. We don't mind the rain as long as it don't get 4 feet. But you know, what was it? One day, not last week. It's about a couple weeks ago, maybe longer, a little longer. Man, we got a lot of rain. I mean, like a lot in a short period of time. Like 3 feet. Easy 3 feet. Well, when your barrel out there, we just have stuff and it's left outside and it fills over and it's overflowed, and that's 3 feet high. It kind of tells you. So, got your coffee. I got my Omer here. He's here.
Yeah.
He's excited.
He's nervous because
he's mad because I locked him in the bathroom by accident. Well, that means he followed me in there. Now, what was your intent going in that bathroom? Did he crap off the ground or what? This is my baby. This is my baby Omer. It's actually not mine. This is Ruth's baby. Yeah, he is handful. He's a good dog, though. Yes, he is a good dog. He minds well. You tell him, he does. It's actually mine's better than anybody. You tell him not to eat stuff, he does. He's a good dog. He's a Chihuahua mix, Applehead, and something else. We don't know what got in that pile, do we? We have any idea what got in that pile? We're not sure, do we? But he sleeps with his mama during nap time during the day, and with his sister at night. So he's got the life of Riley. He just had a little beef and rice this morning for breakfast. So he's doing very well, and he's you can tell he's content and happy. And he'd probably go to sleep sitting right here. So, what do I want to talk about today? I had a bunch of things I wanted to talk about. I had like a list of like 15, 20 things I want to talk about today, TL and Mr. Somebody. You guys tell me what's going on in your life. And I forgot half of them. I forgot a bunch this morning. I said, well, I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to get into this, then I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to get into this. I ended up talking about, I said everything in the first 5 minutes. But anyway, this guy walks up the other day. He walks up to the property. We're assuming begging. And he climbs through the tree. Not climb. He has to walk through brush. Now, the brush is probably waist high to him. And he has to walk down this, get through, he has to walk through a lot. It's full of debris and everything else. He gets over there to the fence line and asks Ruth for money. And he's got both hands on the fence like this. So, don't know what his intent was. Ruth said it was a little strange. It was strange. It was strange happening for her. She felt scared. I was inside the house. What do you do in that instance? Now, it's like anywhere, not just here, everywhere in the world, crime is up. It's up here. Crime is entirely up here. It's and like it is anywhere. Nowhere is perfect, right? Less crime here in the Philippines than it is in the States, but per capita, they have 122 million, where the States has, double that, more than double that. So it's just a lot. So you just never know. Let's talk about land in Florida. You want to talk? Hey, okay. Can I talk a little bit about this? We did find a lot. It's in Interlaken. I did find another one over in Tavares and Eustis area, and the lots were, as you know, you find lots and they vary in price. I'm just basically looking for a lot that I can park the RV in, and then I ran across this channel the other day that gave me an idea. I started looking for other cities in the deep south that's cheap living and cheap life, but the lots there are around the same price they are in Florida. I'd rather live in Florida because honestly, there's more things to do. There's more happening. And what I mean by that, you have a lot of activity there. It's tourist-driven state. Let's face it. Everything there is tourist-driven. You got Legoland, you have Crayon World, you have Universal Studios, you have Epcot, you have Disney, you have all these wonderful, great places. You have Gatorland. You have so many wonderful places you can go, and probably not see them all in a few weeks. There's really that much stuff to do. Now, you got NASA, but I found these lots about 10. It was probably they're about 50. It was a quarter meter, three-quarter meter, three-quarter acre, quarter acre, three-quarter acre. And what I'm looking at was a quarter acre, and it was about $39.99, $3,999. Well, the situation I'm in, I would gladly buy that and do something, but I'm not there, and I'm not going to buy a lot sight unseen. And then I want to really make sure with the city and county I can actually park an RV there. It says you can, and the realtor says you can, but I just want to make sure. And it's not like I'm going to buy it and then, here I got a lot, and can I sell it later on, right? And I think you can never go wrong in lots, really, in Florida or anywhere. I think you're going to be always good in lots. It's just a matter of finding what's good for you. It was high and dry, had water, and a power pole across the street, so you could easily pull power. And they're paying about 7 cents per kilowatt there, so electricity bill would be a lot cheaper than what I'm paying here, and it would be actually a little bit better. Good morning, Jim. How you doing, Jim? How's everything with you? Good to see you. Miss Ruth is here. She's sitting beside me. She's answering a couple emails this morning. So how is Mr. Jim? So the lot that we're looking at was really favorable. Then I found one over in Eustis. It's really Tavares, Eustis, Umatilla. It's the Mount Dora area. I was looking in those areas there. Really fair. It's good areas. There's plenty of things to keep you busy. And a lot of guys, as you know, and when you get old like me, you kind of need to keep busy doing something. And you can keep busy doing something here, but it's just limited on a limited basis. Now, granted, I have a child in school. It's just like I would there. But it does give me availability. I can go from point A in a car, point B, and back within a reasonable hour. Here, you have to really be careful. Time is really a struggle here because they can close down a road for any reason, and sometimes a reason you really don't know why they closed down the road. And I remember sitting in the car and Ruth saying, "Why are we stopped?" And for a long period of time, and come to find out, it was just a little mishap on the other. The what they call that when looking at the other side, looking across the road. So, but there's also a lot down in Titusville, and then I started looking at another place yesterday in Roanoke. Now listen, Roanoke, Alabama, population 5,000. Great place, great school, great community, but I think we'd probably get bored there. I think I would get bored. Not a lot to do. Rubber necklace. Yes. Rubber necklace. And it's like Roanoke has, housing and everything's cheap. What do? You rent, right? You go back and you have to start basically over again, right? So you rent. And you know what? Even when I thought about this in 2018, 2019, when I started the visa process, and I stopped it, COVID and the mess going on, and 2019, I had paid $1,600, $1,584, something like that, to Rapid to get that thing turned in because we were heading to the U.S. at that time. Basically, same situation we're in now. It was like we go there for a period of time, they come here, and then go there for a period of time, save her, make a little money, and then come back here. It'd be snowbirds. But a lot of times, you have to find yourself and find a place for yourself like that. Like what is the right thing. So JJ, come say hi. Marky Shoemate. Oh man. Oh, Marky, how you doing? Life in the Philippines. How are you doing today? I will be heading back to the Philippines April 7th. My cancer has gotten worse. Unfortunately, I'm terminal now. Marky, I saw your video and I left a comment. I am so sorry to hear your situation. And I am so sorry. So you're coming back the 7th. So you come in here with your mama. And shout out to you. Prayers are with you, my friend. Prayers are with you. I'm so sorry to hear what happened. Marky, that's just, it's like, and I know you know this, it's like you wake up one day, everything is fine. You had all those storms that hit, and you say, okay, I'll get through this. You got through that, losing what you had in the property and part of your house, and losing and helping all the people. And then all that happened, and you're back in the States fighting that battle. At least you were there to get the help that you needed. I don't know that the hospitals could have took care of you as well as they did here. As dilemma here, you know that I don't have to tell you anything about the hospitals here. The dilemmas here. The guys are getting stuck and they're not accepting the insurance, and then when they pay the bill, they turn the bill into the healthcare professionals, and then the insurance company writes a check back to you and it's half of what you paid. Well, we don't pay for this. We don't pay for this. It's just a mess. Where in the States or in Thailand or some other country, they'll just bill the insurance company, and then you kind of worry about it later. And I'm so sorry to hear about your situation, and prayers are with you. So I'm glad to see you coming back April the 7th. We have another good friend coming in on the 6th that'll be arriving here on the 6th of April. They're coming in from the States, and we will be seeing her and her baby. She's gonna come back to visit her family. So they're in Davos, so we will see her and say hi. And they're in Florida. She's from Florida, Filipina, and her American husband, a good friend of mine. So I tell you what, Marky, I'm just shocked that all that happened so fast. That's how life is. It's just like it just hits you so hard. And you know what? I'm proud of you. I mean, I'm really proud of you to fight that battle and go through that. And I know it's tough. It's one of the toughest things. We sometimes don't realize how fragile we are and how fragile life is. I tell you, just a simple thing, you just don't know. You just don't know at all. I can't complain, my friend. I will be staying at the house until the end. I have the full life. Oncologists give me 2 to 4 years. Okay, good. 4 years. That's good. 2 to 4 years. I'm going to say 4 years. You're strong. You got goodwill. Just stay positive. And just if there's anything I can do, just yell. I feel so sad and sorry to hear that. But we're with you 100%. We're with you 100%. And I'm so sorry that this happened to you. That's the thing, and I wanted the guys to be prepared. A guy was telling me yesterday, he said, Tom, you always portray things that are negative now. Well, some of that, what I've been portraying the last 2 months, is where I talked to the consular at the embassy, and he gave me a list of things. He said, I'd like for you to talk about these things in your videos because we love your channel, and we're getting the word out that if an American is stuck, please call this number. If they are filing a 7162, we're trying to process them right now. We're way behind because we cover all of Asia. It's best to send it to the States instead of sending it to us here. Your paperwork, because it'll get processed a lot quicker in the States than it would here because they're overwhelmed. They only have 4 people, and they're covering thousands and thousands of emails. In fact, the other day a guy said, I called and called and called and called because my benefits, I've not received a check for February, I've not received a check for March, and he's beside himself. He says, I need money, I'm broke. My wife needs medical attention and I'm broke. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, I'm sorry, I told you to send to US. If you send it to US, you probably have your money by now. Back in February, I told you to send a copy of that to the United States of America because they'll process it for you. If you'll send it there, they'll process it. Send it by mail, and they'll process it for you because it'll already be there. Just FedEx it. Not FedEx it, but, mail. Not priority mail. Priority mail. I am praying. Marky, we're praying for you. We are praying for you. Really are 100% praying for you, Marky. Stay positive, man. Jim Rigney, good morning. Love watching channel. I'll be back in Rogmunk next month. Jim, where are you really? April 20th. My wife and I have a house up far from Rogmunk. Regards from Australia. But Jim, if you get in my area over here, just yell. You want to meet at Alaturka? Just yell. We'll have a lunch. We'll have a lunch and chit chat. If you know, just ask anybody. They know where it is. It's a Turkish restaurant in town. A lot of Americans meet there. It's really kind of the only restaurant in town. There's many restaurants, but I mean more. It's aircon. It's he has everything you would need. Even if you want a glass of beer, he's got it there for you. He's just a really good guy. He's a good friend of mine. So my friend Tom is here. You guys know Tom Shipman. He's here. He's a good friend. He'll be heading back soon, back to the States, come visit his wonderful wife and kids. So he's here doing his thing. So yeah, sounds good, Jim. And God bless you too, Marky. God bless you too. Yeah, Jim. In fact, thank you so much for watching the channel. Thank you so much. But the guy told me yesterday, he said, Tom, you're always negative on your channel. I said, well, no, I try not to be. I try to kind of, but I'm telling the truth. If you're not turning in your 7162 form, you're not going to get your check if you're from the United States of America. If you come here and you have only $5,000 to your name and you come here, you're going to find yourself in trouble financially. It's kind of telling the truth, right? And what I mean by that is, what if your wife gets sick? Because when you come here, you're going to have to take care of her and her immediate family, mama, papa, maybe sister. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is, right? So you're going to have to be prepared for it. The guy was saying, I remember your early videos. Well, yeah, that was the truth then. This is the truth now. And so it's not going to be always cream and coffee, and I don't try to portray it. Even though sometimes I may not have really told exactly how it was back in the day because I was afraid to with YouTube. Now I kind of tip the line sometimes on saying things that I think that people should be aware of, Crypto journey. How is this is Steve D. Got to tell you the words. Don't tell the truth, can't go with their small money. Yeah, you're right. This is Steve. He's from here. He is from Don Carlos, and Steve's a good friend of mine. And so, Steve, when are you coming back? Are you coming back soon, or what's your plans? I never even asked you. By telling the truth, you're negative of your experience with a government office, of course, including the USA and the Philippine government. Yeah, that's true. You're right, Jim. You're right. And Jim, you know exactly how it is. And the thing of it is, you want to always kind of tell the truth, even though you don't want, you want to be careful. You don't want to make the Bureau of Immigration mad. You don't want to make this person mad, because it's like I don't want to say this, you're kind of walking on eggshells sometimes. You're doing that. You don't really realize it, right? And because of the new laws that's coming out, and Jim brought that up to me yesterday, that you have to be very careful in the words that you say and the things that you do. You know. New subscriber here from Georgia, Panay in Georgia. How you doing, Panay? Hey, I was looking of Georgia the other day. I was looking at Marietta, Georgia. How are you? Where are you from in Georgia? I was just there. You were just here? And you didn't... Not cheap anymore. Not cheap anymore. I was just there. You were just here? You were here? Steve, you didn't call me? Not cheap there anymore. Yeah, I know. It's, yeah, I agree. And I talked a little bit about this with some of the guys, Jim and some guys. Yeah, it has increased considerably. Groceries, for example. I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, 150 a week? 3 of us? So, sure, we cook for family and friends, whatever. That's nothing. Whatever. So what? But then, you got a rice, 1,000, there's 20 here, and 20 here, and 20 here, and 20 here, and before you know it, you're at $400, $500, $600. So I'm not really sure. That's where a lot of my money's going. That and electricity, of course, $120, $100. Now I have solar, but I don't have it on the air card. I seen you on bus going to CDO. Didn't want to You never bug me, Steve. Never bug me. You will never bug. You saw me on the bus going to CDO, did you really? You should have just waved or yelled. Yeah, in fact, we had to go there for my visa, and it was a fairly good trip. Getting back is a problem. Took us, Jim knows this. How many hours? 5, 6? It's a long drive. 5, 6 hours to come back on a bus, and it's like, whew. And it's you guys know some of the buses, the freight liners, will kind of go with the flow. So when they turn a corner, you kind of go with it like this. So you ride like an air ride. But some of the buses are the old style where they turn a corner and you're slammed against the wall, and you're slammed back over here. So your experience is like this, because it's going up those mountains, constantly doing that. Yeah, don't forget about the meat. Meat is so expensive. It is so expensive. In fact, it's 6. How much is meat now, darling?
350.
All right, $7 per kilo. $7 a kilo. And the cuts are questionable. You know what I mean? Panay, are you in the Philippines? How is the Philippines? I'm here in the U.S. living with my American husband. It's been a long time being LDR to him. Finally, thanks the Lord, we are now together. LDR, congratulations to you. I am so happy you, Panay in Georgia. Congratulations. And yes, I was the same way with Miss Ruth, and I know exactly how you feel. Congratulations. Yeah, we're in Bukidnon. We're in a place called Maragmag, Bukidnon, in between Davao and CDO. I'm close to Valencia City and Balay. Been here 7 years. My wife and I have been married since 2016. And a wonderful, wonderful marriage it has been. It's been a wonderful, wonderful marriage. You're sitting right here. So, yeah, it's a lot of construction around mountains now. Yeah. Good morning, Sammy. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. It is a lot of construction going on. You're right. A lot of construction. And, Steve, too, look at the airport that's going on. My cost of living is about $2,000 a month. I tell you what, mine's going up too. Mine's going up too. Steve, I'm telling you. I know I can live cheaper in the States. I know I can. Can I be paying $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 a month here? It's going to be about the same. But the key is what? Where you live. That's the key, is where you live. If you rent a house, or you own a house, or own a place, or have zero rent. The only advantage of me is I have zero rent. But the other expenses add up, 30 internet, we did have a car, but don't have it anymore, but things like that. In the States, it's going to add up too. It's going to add up very fast because you got to have insurance, you got to have car insurance, you got to have a car, you got to have fuel, and so it'll add up there also. So you need income, a pretty good income. It's almost like you do need that $2K a month to survive here now. You really do, minimum. Talked to a guy yesterday. Unique Traveler has a channel, and he was telling me that he's spending about $2,500 a month on the average. He lives up in Manila, and he's not living. Thank you so much, sir. K1 visa, filer me and my husband. 2 years and 5 months before we get together. I tell you what, we filed Ruth's visa recently, and hopefully we'll get there soon. We're on it. We're working that process. We're working that time. We're doing our thing, and trying to get. I'm trying to get her there where she can get a job, make money. She wants to make money. She don't want to be. She wants her own. She wants money. She wants her own. Even though I give her money, it's about accountability. It's about self-worth. Even though I give her money, she wants to make money. She wants more money. Or I want to get her in those schools, even though some say it's bad, but I don't know it's really that bad. The schools I've been talking to, like I said, I looked at Roanoke, Alabama, and I'm looked at Daytona, Florida. So, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I took a trip to the new airport. How does it look? How is the airport? How does it look? Are they further along than they were? I just woke up making coffee now. Yeah, I woke up late too myself. It was a little late for me today. I got up 7:30, and I used to get up earlier. I used to get up at 5:30, something like that. I can't live cheaper in Canada. Too expensive. Yeah. It is expensive in Canada. I know it's expensive in the States, but this place I looked at, well, medium income is about $24,000 a year. Housing's fairly cheap. No crime. They had 8 incidents of crime in 5,000 people, or 5,200, whatever it is. 8 instances of crime, and it was all petty theft. There's no crime. There's literally no crime. 91% graduating class. In other words, 91% of the students graduate. So what that means is good school. It's a good school. That's nice to see that. I'm in La Piñas for the last 6 years. It's coming up on 7 shortly. I'm married to a Filipina. Yeah, Jim, you're here about the same amount of time as I was thinking the other day that for me, I was thinking that I wanted to, like, for Ruth to experience more, and and all you guys know this, right? Panay in Georgia, that you want to experience more in life. Panay, how do you like it there? How do you like it? What's your first thoughts of coming there? Did you find it interesting? Did you like it? Enjoying yourself? Is it somewhere that is what you thought it would be? And Steve, how did it look since you've been back here? How was things looking for you? Are you would it change a lot in your eyes compared to what it once was? Yeah, La Piñas. Hey Jim, what's your, if you don't mind me asking, what are you spending on the average a month? What's your average expenditures? Mine's about 1,100-1,200 now, maybe 13. That includes projects around here. That includes projects. That includes fixing something that broke, like my floor. I had to replace my floor. That includes fixing something at the Blessing House, like a leak on the roof. 100 here, 100 there. I'm in Negros Oriental, living with my American best friend, and I can say it's so hard for me, and we spend almost $1K a month. I tell you what, Sammy, isn't that amazing? So $1K, that's a lot. There you go. $1K. You don't really realize how fast the money can go. Money can go really fast. Then no matter where you live. And the major expense, if you have 100, let's just say, if you're living and you're getting a pension of, I'm just gonna say 1,500. I don't know what the average is, but I'm just gonna say 1,500. And if you're living here at 1,500, sometimes that can be tight. So you got to have savings, but you got to replenish it, right? You got to have more money and replenish it, more cash, because. And what I mean, you got to fill the well. And so how do you fill the well? So for me, my main concern of going back to the States is if something happened to me tomorrow, how's she going to live? Everything's paid for, but how's she going to live? How's she going to feed herself? I have enough money, what, a year, 2 years, 5 years? But what's she going to do after that? Depending on you don't want that load on a child. And that's the thing, I wouldn't want the load on a child. So many Filipino put the load on the children, go make money and send it back to me because they feel responsible for their family, for all the things they did for them. But then again, too, it's really sad for the child. The child is under a strain of chains, that burdens on them all the time. They have to work, they have to keep going. And so I wouldn't want that as a burden upon me, right? So that is really tough. So 1,000 months, Semi. Because of electricity, foods, and gas, because we always go place to place. Yes. And that will do it. But thank you, Sammy. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's very nice. Thank you. And so, electricity, foods, and gas. Yeah, exactly. Things too. Now, sure, you can go eat really inexpensive here. You can eat for $2, $3, $4. But you can also eat $2, $3, $4, $5 at a greasy spoon too in U.S. I was looking at the restaurant there in Florida. It's called a Greasy Spoon, and I was looking at their menu yesterday. They're still in business. It's a place I used to go to, and they had the menu up. A hamburger, a big French fries, and a glass of iced tea, $3.99. So what is that? 200 peso, right? So it's $4. So 200 peso, nice meal. Then they had a breakfast, 2 eggs, bacon, toast, and what was it? A side of fruit, $1.99. So I'm going. You're still in my mind. They're still in business. They're still there. They're in DeLand, Florida. Hello, Mark King. How you doing? And how you doing, Mark King? Yes. Cheers, coffee. Coffee this morning. Good morning. And thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah, money goes quick, Jim. Let me think about my expenditures for a minute. I will tell you. Okay. I understand. And you know what? Mark King, how you doing? Hey, how's ice cream? We're talking about expenses and talking about life here. Anything. You doing good? Good to hear you. Good to see you. So, if you don't think about it, there is... What? You spending $1K a month, it's easy to spend. I tell you what, our electricity runs 100, 120, 140. Our food, don't know. 400? Probably 400, maybe 500. Is it because I'm eating more? I am big. No, it's not because I'm eating more. I'm eating about the same. It's just the price has gone up. Price of rice has gone up. Just everything. Now, fuel is actually gone down in price, so fuel's really a fairly good price. It's 62 cents a liter now. So what is that? $3? $3 a gallon? $3 and change a gallon? Whereas at the Ruth, she kind of regards Center's busy, got to go busy today. She is sitting right over here. She is chilling.
I'm doing
Oh, she's doing TikTok.
because I still have to do live stream for the pre.
Oh, wait, she's doing TikTok as I'm doing this one. She's coming on this one, but I guess she went on decided to do TikTok. We're going to do them at the same time, but we got in trouble. I guess you're not supposed to do TikTok and YouTube at the same time.
No, the one I'm using is, remember the one, a filter?
Oh, the filter? Yeah. Oh, the filter caused it. Artco Drone, my good friend. High five. Are you here now, Artco? Are you here? Good to see you. So you got to go now? Okay, thanks, Sammy. High five. Ate, unboxing again, LOL. Love you, Ate.
Love you
Sammy
too.
says hi. She says hi back. Says love you too. Artco. Hello, Sammy. Hey, Artco, did you, you here? Aren't you coming now? Aren't you here now? So Steve D. I'm still thinking about you came here, didn't tell me. I'll be in Davao April 9th. Well, everybody's coming in April. You're the third person today to tell me they're coming in April. 6,
April
7,
is
and
Easter.
9. And my friend's coming. She, Artco, but I need to go now. See y'all soon. Okay, see you. See you. There is, I'm trying to think. Anyway, this friend of mine from Florida, his wife's coming to visit her mama and her family, bringing her daughter. It's leaving one daughter at home because she's a little young and hard to travel mom with 2 daughters, and you guys know that. So they're taking the older one. So staying with Papa. But she's coming to visit for a while. We're going to try to get to Davao. I'm going to try to get to Davao in the month of April, sometime or another, even if it's just to go there, spend 3 or 4 hours, then come back. Because I have all art in school, and I can leave her, but I really don't want to. She's still in school, and she can make it home fine. She can get in the house fine. She's fine. It's door-to-door service. We have door-to-door service, but I don't want her. She don't want to be by herself. She gets scared, and I don't want her to be by herself. I don't like her being by herself. It's not a good thing, being by yourself. Artco. So, Artco, good to see you, and good for you to come on. So, Jim, I think on the average, I know you have a car, and things like that also. A car can cost you a lot here. Fuel. Sometimes it's cheaper by riding the bus than taking a car. For us, I love driving the car for convenience because I get there quicker and I get back quicker. It saved about 4 hours. Usually on the morning trip, an hour and a half in the afternoon, I picked up the difference. So it was, even though the mileage is the same going there and coming back, but sometimes the traffic is a lot different depending on what time you come back. But I enjoyed driving the car when it was no one else on the road, but it really gets too hectic and it's very dangerous to drive for me personally. And I probably feel the same way in the States because I got to get a car. First things foremost, I got to get a car of some kind, a vehicle, a car, a truck, a van. I really like to have a van, but I got to find one, and the price has gone out sky high on these cars. But that's the way life is, and what are you going to do about it, right? You don't think about it, but a simple thing like a car to get around, then you have fuel, then of course you're going to have insurance. And then I'll have to get Ruth insurance, health insurance, and or health insurance. And I'll have my Medicare, Medicaid, and I'm going to have to pay a penalty on that. And I know, hey, Jim, I never received an email. Come to think of it. Mark, you know how I have these 2 brothers, both are Filipino. One told me the other had moved to the Philippines. When I hear that, I was getting really mad. For I would have gone with him there. So I called the other one, talked to him, hoping he has kept his phone. He told me he's still working here and talking about not talking to each other. Wow. How come, Mark? Is it just something that you guys just didn't do? Just didn't talk too much? Mark? 2 days in Davao and 4 days in Small Island with my girlfriend. High five. Artco. Man, congratulations to you. Congratulations. Of course we wouldn't have time. How long are you here, Artco? Are you here for a while? Long time or short? So, gone with him there. I called one up. I thought hoping he kept his phone number. He told me he was still working. Well, Mark, I'll tell you, I know. Brothers are something, aren't they? Sometimes you're more friends with other people than you are your own family. That's American, right? And sometimes Filipino. Don't think Filipino are just so adamant about family. There's some Filipinos that just don't like their family or not even with their family. But they are a family-oriented country, and that's what I do like about it. They bond the family together, and I do enjoy that. And but too, you are expected as a foreigner, as an American, to help and maintain that bond and to take care of whomever. And you're expected to pay the bill too. Like you take them out to eat, you're expected to pay the whole bill. $1,800 a month, food, rent, electricity, also $15,000 paid for college. Oh.
I need to finish this.
Okay, how long are you gonna be in there, darling? Oh, there she goes on her little TikTok. She's my wife. I love her. $1,800 a month. Jim, can you live on $1,800 a month in the States? Maybe, maybe not, right? 2 weeks. Oh, 2 weeks. Okay. So 2 weeks. That'll be fun. Arco, you'll have a ball here. Is this your first time here? Their family's from Luzon, way up north, most of the north coast area of Luzon. My family consider me a long lost brother, even the sisters too. Oh wow, wow, wow. Even small island in Cebu for 2 days, then rest trip in Cavite. Oh, you're going back up towards Manila. Okay, understand. I understand. Well, you know, when you're on a trip, you don't have time to socialize. You have to be with her and her family. That's the reason you're coming. And I understand that 100%. It's like, it's like you have limited time, and the time is limited. So I understand that. Not talking about the kids, yeah. Oh, second time in the Philippines. There's a family, real big, 7 of them total. Ruth's family is big. A lot of family members. 9 children. Her mama. 9 children that are here. And each one of the sisters can have 8 or 9. Not really, but there's a lot of cousins. There is a lot of cousins. We get a gathering. It's nothing to have 100 people here, and we feed them all. So a lot of my expenses is sometimes that we don't have gatherings that much. As you guys remember, last year I took them all up to Lontapan, up in the mountains, and I paid for a resort for all of us to stay. I don't know. There's a bunch. I don't know how many. There's a bunch. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, it's a really nice place up there. It had 2 guest houses and a full house that you could sleep, 20 people. But anyway, a whole pool by ourselves and fishing and horseback riding. Well, worth it. And I said, I want to go back there this year. But Ruth said there's another place that's a lot better than that. We're going to go up in the mountains, and we're going to go to a different place for my birthday this year and experience a little bit more. Now that one cost me really about, I think totals all said and done, about $400, and for my birthday, and it gave them availability. My goal in life is I like to make people smile, even though it may not seem that way, but to me, I like to make people smile. Even when I meet them in person, I want to make them smile. I want them to be happier than they were when they first met me, because that's my personality. But because I'm a jokester, and my sarcasm can go too far, so I have to be very, very, very careful. So I only use sarcasm very little and jokes very, very, very little, because they take it in a bad way very simply, because as you know, it's an emotional country, and you have to be really, 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 really careful. I did get myself in trouble many times, many, many, many times, too many to count. Got to run, time for bed. Good night, good night. Thank you, Arco. See you later. Thank you so much for coming on and spending your valuable time today. I really appreciate it, and thank you for that. We sometimes don't think how, and life is really short, and I mean really short. When I decided to come here, I didn't think that 6 years, 7 years, I'd still be here. I wanted to be back in the States where I can, go back and forth and do more things. I never thought that I would have been here. The COVID really messed it up for me, man. COVID really messed it up for me. It really messed things up. As R says, during the COVID time yesterday, Daddy, I want to tell you, can I tell you something? I said, what's that? She told me last night. Now remember, she's 14. And she comes over and she says to me, Daddy, during the COVID time, I did not really like you. I said, what? She said, I really just didn't like you at all during the COVID time. I said, why? Because I'd wake up and see your face, and I'd go to bed see your face. I said, you don't like Daddy's face? She says, well, no, I love you, Daddy. You know that. But sometimes just seeing your face all the time and saw Mommy's face all the time is just too much for me to handle. I'm dying laughing. That's really, that she said to me in English, right? I said, you ought to be a daddy and wake up every day and see your face then and see how I feel. But I love you every day. When I wake up, I see you, I smile because I love you so much. And no matter what you do, I still smile. Even though when you do wrong, I may get on you and may tell you wrong, say you stuff that you don't like and it's wrong to you, but I love you. And she says, yeah, I know you do. And she says, oh, thank you for the vanity. I bought her a new vanity, her and Mom a vanity. So then, but it's funny for her to do that. So she said, I almost hated you. I said, why? Well, you made me do my homework in here. I said, I see where we're headed here. Because you couldn't talk to your classmates. I made you not stop because you were getting your schoolwork done, you were talking to your classmates. And you're doing more of this instead of studying, right? Well, no, not really. Well, no, it was right. So the thing of it is with her, that's what it was. She could not talk to her classmates. And she's mad at me about it. But it's funny how she said it. Yeah, I really just didn't like you, Dad. Kids are something, man. They are. I'll try send an email. Yeah, it's young.tom23 at Yahoo. Young.tom23 at Yahoo. Yeah. And Mark King, it was funny because she says, and then the next, as a few minutes go by, she's talking to me. And she says, and you know something else? I said, what? I sometimes don't really like when you make me go to bed at 8:30 at night. And I said, I know you don't. And I really am not excited about it. And I'm really not excited because I don't have my phone now. And I said, how come you don't have your phone now? Whose fault is that? I said, action, reaction, right? She goes, well, I said, whose fault are you not having your phone right now? Is it Daddy's fault or is it your fault? Well, it's kind of my fault. And I said, well, it's all your fault. She said, well, when can I get it back? Kids, man. And she said, I really need it for school. I said, no, you don't need it for school. It's okay. We'll just I'll hold it for a little while longer and I'll give it back to you in time. But then she says to me, and I really like it in my bedroom and I want to decorate it. Can I decorate it? I said, you can do anything you want in your bedroom. I don't care. She said, I want to buy lights and stuff. I said, well, just get with your mother and you can buy the lights and whatever you want for your room. And her mother says, no, I don't want all these dingly lights and all this stuff. So anyway, they're talking. And she goes, see, I can't even do my room. And I said, or you can do your room. So then she comes out a few minutes later out of her room. And she says, do you have any of that medicine for her toe? And what that meant was she wanted me to put it on her toe for attention, I said, sure, come on over here. Let me put it on your foot for you. If she had itchies, just rash, poison ivy, whatever. And so I said, don't scratch it, don't touch it. So I put the medicine on there. And you would think I gave her $1 million, but kids are something else. What they are, the kids are something else. Filipino, and what it is, and I asked her, she says, the reason my girlfriends and everybody likes you is they want to hear you talk, and they want to hear your slang. And they want to hear more about what you're saying, trying to say. They're laughing not at you, but they're laughing at your slang. And I said, I thought they were laughing at me. She goes, no, they're laughing at your slang, your words, and the way you use your words, and the way, because they're not accustomed to that. Like, and Filipinos sometimes will say, it's fair for the goose is fair for the gander, we say. And it's like, where did that come from and why would you say that before that? So their English is a lot different in how they interact into the sentence, and it should be over here instead of here. But sometimes they'll say stuff that I'll kind of laugh at, and in myself, but not at them. I won't laugh out loud because that's a no-no. The other day, a guy came over here and he was saying something to me, and I just really couldn't understand the guy. And he was speaking English, but man, could not understand him. So I asked Ruth, I said, you know, intervene here and take care of this, please. There's some guy wanting money. We get a lot of people coming up for money. It's the times. We're in these times now. So Mark King, there's a guy came close to our fence, walking through the grass and everything else, through the brush to get to this fence line right here, and put his hands on his fence like he's going to climb over it. And Ruth was there and says, can I have money? Never said I-yo or anything. And like he's getting ready to climb the fence. She goes, no, we have no money here. And when she yelled it out, I heard her. So I jump up, go out there. And the guy's standing there. I said, whoa! And he saw me and he took off. Now, hopefully he had nothing that would cause harm, but you never know. You never know what is going on in someone's mind. You never know what his intention was. So I said, man, what, I need to put barbed wire on my yard? I don't want to look like a prison. As you know, I had barbed wire over here and people said, hey, you look like a prison. Well, there's a reason for that. I know a guy, he's a big vlogger. He doesn't show his fence because he has barbed wire all over the top of his fence. He lives on the beach. Why would he need barbed wire on the beach? So, but it's just the life we're living in. That's the way it is. So, but anyway, but R was telling me also too that they're having problems where students are taking other kids' money in school. So I said, well, just don't take money in school. In other words, they got some thieves in the classroom taking money and going through people's purses and bags and taking money. And I said, it's either, you know, so you guys know the scenario there. So there's always that petty theft there, and that's always going to be because it's just kids. Kids going to do that. And kids are going to do it even here in our house. The cousins will do that. If there's money laying around, you know, they think, oh, it's money, it's mine, so they'll grab it. And this is the way it is. You don't leave things like that out. You don't leave things out. Let's read, I locked my garage, and it's got a heavy-duty door now that nobody can get in that bad boy because I have all my tools and everything in there, you know. Good morning, Kevin and Gemma. Hope all is well. How's everybody doing today? Kevin and Gemma, good morning. How you doing this morning? Yeah, we're just chit-chatting a little bit. Doing the stream for a little while. I figured I'd just do one this morning. I haven't done one in a while, and I feel guilty. I was feeling a little under the weather. I still have this rash, and my really don't know what to do with it. The doctors gave me some stuff, but it's not just me. Other people have it besides me. Ruth has it. Her cousins have it. Sister has it. One or two of her sisters has it. I was talking to an American the other day. He has it. He had it on his neck and his chest, and he just came here. And I said, I don't know what it's from. I have some on my head. Now I'm scratching my head thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know what it is. And the rash is keeping me from sleeping well. And that's the reason I would get up in the morning and I'm not able to energy because, you know, I'll get to bed at 3 a.m. I don't want to do a live stream at 8. I'm dead tired. So good morning. How's Gemma doing? And hopefully she's doing well. And Kevin, how are things and how's the farm? Yeah, thank you, Jim. So yeah, if you don't mind, send me an email, Jim. I appreciate it. In fact, I will see it pop up possibly when it does come in here. So how's the farm, Kevin? Things going well there? Ruth and I was trying to grow some vegetables here too, thinking about farming. We're still trying to grow some things like, you know, simple carrots and onions. Something's happened to our soil. It's either tainted or bad or something. We really can't grow much of anything here. I asked my brother-in-law, he said it's the type of soil that you have here. He said he can only grow certain things up in the mountains. it's too rich, too very rich. The soil is very rich. He's not getting the nutrients that he needs to grow other vegetables. They grow cassava, corn, and then of course sugar cane. That's it. They don't grow anything else. Some of the people are able to grow tomatoes and things, but I'm not able to grow any kind of tomatoes, anything. I'm not able to really grow anything. Ginger. And of course, we have our fruit trees. Now, our fruit trees seem to do fine. We produce a lot of fruit. Bananas doing fine. Dragon fruit doing fine. We even had a pineapple or two out there. It did fine. Pineapple's too long, though. It takes that thing like, 2 years, 3 years to grow? It's too long. Papaya's fine. Things like that we can get fine. But you can only eat so much of that because of that, the sugars in that. Pomelo's fine. And that's all on this property. We have all that here. Other than that, jackfruit's fine. Now, I like jackfruit, but only to a certain extent. It's very strong. To me, it kind of reminds me of durian. All is well with Gemma. The farm is sorted now. I'll be back there in May for a while. Okay, that'll be nice. It'll be nice for you to come back. And it'd be good to get away and come back here. Bring your pocketbook. Bring your pocketbook. Of course, you already know that. I was thinking my expenses have increased. I should actually do a cost, really sit down and do a cost analysis. I think in April I'm going to sit down and write down every penny and everything I need to do. As you know, I just repaired the floor here because the earthquake caused the countertops, which are heavy with concrete, the concrete top on those things. These things are heavy. It takes 2 men to carry, and they're heavy. You can only scoot. But anyway, when it was on the thing, it was shaking like this. And when it's shaking, and it does like this really fast. And then it go like this, and then really fast. Well, it broke the pipe from the back of the wall, and water drained. We didn't know it. There's nothing visible we could see here. But anyway, our floor rotted from really the door all the way down. And so we had to have it replaced. As they replace it, I said, just replace as much as you can of it. And if it's good wood, we don't replace it. But if it looked kind of iffy, I had them replace it. So we did that. So I had that expense. Wasn't much. I think all said and done, probably about $300. Labor, screws, wood. The wood itself is $25 a sheet, 4x8 sheet of this wood. It's called Fobex? Terraplex. This email address, hope this is okay, the email. Okay, yes. Let me see, I'll write it in here. I have this phone. I didn't realize I had this phone just now. Hold on, let's see. Let's see, Jim. Let me write it in here. Send it to this one. At Yahoo. There we go. There we go, Mark King. That way you hopefully you'll get it there. Yeah. I did get a email from some guys yesterday. Said I still ain't got my money from February and my money from March on my Social Security. And they mailed them to Manila. What am I supposed to do? I keep calling the phone number. They keep picking up the phone and slamming it down. Well, they're overloaded. There are only 4 people there to cover all of Asia. Now, all of Asia. Not just Philippines, all of Asia. I said send it to the United States of America. So I don't know if they ever sent it to the United States of America or not. They may be waiting another month or 2 or 3 to get their checks because as far as them processing there, I don't know if they are able to or not. Tell your wife I sent about 4 of them. Okay, I will do that. She is in the other room now, but I'll tell her, Jim. I'll tell her. Mom Buntag, I'm late here. I've been making plans, so want to help me for my move. High five, Timothy. So Timothy, I know you're excited. Congratulations. Hey, I did find out a little more about the Starlink. People are talking about Starlink. And getting it. Starlink works great in some areas here. But something that you got to be very careful for, and I've learned this. I talked with a technician from Starlink. Finally, took me a year, but I got a guy on the phone. Cost me $5 to talk to this guy. $5. Anyway, he says the problem with the Starlink is this. If there's a lot of water in the air and high humidity, the signal can be reduced up to 60 to 70%. So if it's raining, you have rain and high humidity in the air, the dew, fog does not affect it, but the humidity will affect the line of sight. If there is a tree or a building or a cloud that's heavy with thunder and water, it will stop your internet. So before you do it, you may look at other sources if you're coming here. Now I know that Texas Filipino, a lot of guys did it and they have no problems, but I've not seen an update from the ones that they've had it for a while and showing. But I know of many people, many, more than 10, more than 20, more than 30 people that bought it and sent it back. It's really expensive. Even if you pay $600, $700 for it and get it here, it's expensive. You're better off to either figure out a way, low company. Now, Converge, they're laying cable in the ocean right now to bring it in from the United States of America. There's a Hong Kong company now also that's actually in the Philippines, and you can actually get high-speed internet. Cable is here. It's up and running. It's in Cebu, and I forget the name of H&K, HH, or something like that, fiber, and it's a really, really, really fast. 300 up and down, guaranteed, and it's like $30 a month. They have a plan for like $20, but it's like $30 a month. But you know, I'm paying from J&J here in town. It's 300 up and down. It's 300 right now, up and down. So, is Starlink gonna be able to give me 300 up and down, where I don't have to pay 120? Guys are telling me they were paying bills here, $120. $120? I said, for what? Now, look, granted, now this PLDT that was up here, that we had up here, I was paying $100 a month on that. You guys remember that? But came with TV, it came with phone, it came with 3 big, beautiful, gorgeous routers, big, nice routers. What else it come with? Something else. But so well worth it at that time. I'm talking about ice cream. You know, at the time of the year, so I do not have ice cream, but I do have chocolate Easter eggs. Good for you. I love Easter eggs. I see another guy in hospital, no insurance. Looks like he has been donating money to cover costs. Yeah. There's hey Kevin. There's a guy. Message Friday. He's in St. Luke's, Manila. He ran out of money, American, and he can't get out of the hospital. So I called Paul, the consul's office. Expect a phone call from this guy. He said, Tom, we're overloaded with it right now. We can't keep up with demand. He said, there's so many people in that instance ran out of money in the hospital and they can't get out. He said, the only way we can do it is we'll get them out, but they got to go back to the States. We're not going to get them out and let them stay here. Then we're going to help them again and help them again and help them again. No, we're going to get them out of the hospital. They have to go back to the States. We're not going to get them out of the hospital and have them stay here. Why would we do that? But if he calls me, we'll get him out of the hospital, pay the bill. He has to pay us back. We'll set him up in a hotel and send him back. If he's married and has Filipina, he'll have to file the appropriate paperwork for the visa to grant her entry into the United States. So that's the deal. So there are a lot of guys. And I tell you what, I don't have enough money to go in a hospital and be able to pay $30,000, $40,000 in insurance, plus live and plus have extra. I have this for insurance. I have this for Ruth. It's non-touchable. I don't care what it is. Non-touchable. Something happens to me, this is hers. Non-touchable. Word. I don't touch it. Even if I'm dying, I don't touch it. Because this is hers. I have set for her. Because something happens to me, how in the world is she going to be able to pay an electricity bill over 1,000, 2,000 peso? Okay, granted. Okay, say she gets whatever. Well, you know what? That's the reason why we're heading back to the States. to build that kitty back up. Because if I get a bill for $30,000, I pay that bill and get out of the hospital, there goes that. It's done. And guy went in the hospital. His bill for an operation overnight was $10,000 US. $10,000. They charged him overnight for the room. I don't remember what it was, like $2,000-$3,000 just for the room. It's St. Luke's. They're getting crazy. They're getting really crazy on this insurance. They're charging these Americans way too much money for what they do. Way too much money. But you had a Filipino go in there and they're paying 1/10, 1/18, 1/20 of that money. Tom, there's not a law there in the Philippines. The hospital cannot hold you if you pay there. Yeah, there is a law. You're right. Thought one of the guys on YouTube saying there is a law. Yes, they cannot. They're not allowed to hold you. They're not allowed to do it. There's a law here that protects anybody going in the hospital to help. But get this, you can't leave until you pay the bill. So what's that mean? It's the law is in effect. You still can't leave until you pay the bill. Are they holding you because you can't pay the bill? Well, you can't pay the bill. What are you going to put up to pay the bill? House, lot, land? Well, that's fine, but will you sign a promissory note? I don't know. It depends on the bill and how much it is. Some hospitals will let you pay a promissory note, but more than likely, no. Because they're not in the business of promissory notes. You know, an American did tell me he went in the hospital, he couldn't not pay the whole bill, he paid a partial on it, and he signed a promissory note that he would pay back the rest. And they said, well, we'll attach a lien on your property or something. So I don't know how they eventually worked that out, but he did get out and he signed a promissory note. The problem with that is I don't want somebody knocking at my door until you pay that bill off. But it was a large sum of money. I don't want to be caught with my pants down here, because if you have $30,000, $40,000 in the bank and insurance hits you, I don't know if you can actually afford that. A guy told me he's down to his last $5,000. That was his money to go to the hospital. And he said, what do I do? And I said, it's best to go back to the States, even though you're 69, 68, 69, get a job. Or go back to the States and live. He said, well, I can do that. So that's what he's going to do. He's going back to the States and live. But he's got a wife and a child here. So what does he do? Now, he has a child, 68 years old. The child when he was, the child's like 6 years old, so it tells you. So what does he do? So he has to leave. So he's going to file for a K-1 or IR-1 or CR-1, one of the visas, to get them there. So it's going to be tough on it. It means they'll be walking out of the hospital. And you know, that's the thing, Mark. They plant a security guard there. You can't just walk out. There's a guard there. 24/7. If you're going in the room, you go out of the room, say you're going to go downstairs, he goes with you. They don't listen, just walk around. There's a guard there. Do they keep you in a room? No, you can walk around the hospital, you're just not allowed to leave it. And that's sad. That's what the guy did. He said, I was just going to walk out. No, he couldn't walk out because the guard's there. They assigned a guard, an actual guard, security guard. So that's the thing. So if you're at St. Luke's or whatever hospital you're at, medical center, guy in Elo was in medical center. They wouldn't let him leave till he paid the bill, and he didn't have the money. It was $6,000. He didn't have the money, and they put a guard there. So Paul was telling me from the embassy that what they had to do, they had to intervene, because he called the embassy and said he's being held, and it's like kidnapping, right? So he says, I am being held against my will. So they sent a person down there, and from the police department, and the United States government made a deal to pay the bill so he could get out of the hospital. But they wouldn't let him out. So the United States government had to pay that bill. But the only requirement was he has to go back to the States. And he has an agreement. And they keep your passport. What they do, they give you a piece of paper, and they keep your passport. So they sent him up to Manila and set him up in a hotel room, gave him food, gave him money, gave him, so he's not destitute. But his wife is down there. But they let the wife come up and stay with him so they could be with him for his last deal. They said, yeah, go ahead and get your wife up here. And so they did. And so you can't take your wife with you. So when he got to the States, they sent him up in a hotel there. Like whatever it was, didn't matter. They set him up, and it was nice. And then he had to pay that back. So I forget what he said it was, $4,000 plus the hospital bill, because the plane ticket, right? So plus the hospital bill, so it's $10,000. He says, how am I going to pay off $10,000 when I'm retired? My wife will never get here, and I ain't going to be able to bring my wife here. I said, the first thing to do is file for a visa, get your wife there. Don't worry about your passport because you're never going to leave the country. And pay them a little at a time. They'll accept it, even if you pay them $50 a month. So get your wife there first, and then worry about the other. John Ferris, good morning, good morning. I would be walking out the cops there too. I know I would be too. Yes, it's more expensive in the Philippines than it was 4 years ago. Now I don't know what country you live in, but for me right now, living in the Philippines is still way cheaper. It is, Mark King, it is. But you know what? Where it's cheaper is only on 4 things. Where is the Philippines cheaper than anywhere else in the world? Ecuador, Peru, or anywhere else, Venezuela? And what makes Philippines a choice to stay in the top 20 places or 10 places? It's 4 things. Rent, right? Electricity is not cheaper than it is anywhere else. Electricity is actually more expensive than it is in Peru or Mexico. Mexico, electricity is cheaper. You can live in Mexico cheaper than you can live here. Peru, Ecuador, there's wonderful, great places. But anyway, the next thing is cheaper is service businesses, services, glasses, teeth, stuff like that you need to have done. It's going to be cheaper. Glasses, teeth, maybe you break your arm, something like that, you get in and out of the hospital. External care, not the internal stuff. Things like that is going to be cheaper for you than it is anywhere else in the world. So, number 3 is services such as building a house, things like that. It's going to be cheaper. Material is going to be as much or more than it is anywhere else. Material is the same cost. I paid $25 a sheet for this 4x8 piece of plywood, where it's $40 in US, but other places you can still buy it $20 a sheet. Another thing that's really different is like you need your aircon worked on, it's cheaper. You need it cleaned, it's going to be cheaper. If you need to have something fixed, your refrigerator dies or something like that, that's going to be cheaper. So service-oriented attorneys, things like that. So service-oriented businesses is cheaper. That's the only thing Philippines is cheaper on. Everything else is expensive. Restaurant foods, you can still eat, $3, $2, $3, $4 a day. You can still eat in the States, $2, $3, $4. You go get you a sub and eat. There's many places. I told you about the Greasy Spoon there in DeLand. It's called Greasy Spoon. Anyway, $1.99 breakfast, $3.99 lunch, big burger, fries, and a drink, and a cup of fruit, $3.99. So there's things that people don't think about. But so what is cheaper here? Housing, rent, apartments, like that, yes. But even they're going up. Building a house, cheaper if you find a good builder. And finding quality help is going to be a problem. Guy has a farm. American. He's putting, what do they call them? Camotes, limes, right? He's planting 4,000 trees. Goes in town to find help. He's running around, finding help. Couldn't find any help. So I said, okay, I'll up my pay. Instead of paying him $2, I'll pay him $3 a day. Running around, trying to find 15, 20 people. Couldn't find them. Nobody wanted to work. Filipino. I'm talking Filipino here in the Philippines. Okay, so he upped it. He ended up paying like 300 peso a day. Come plant these trees. So they ended up getting like 8 people out of the whole town. Now he's up in he's up there in San Fernando. He's out in the outskirts though. So he ended up getting it planted in the ground. He said, "There's one thing about it. He learned one thing. They're the same as they were in the States." He said the only difference is that I'm here in the Philippines and I'm paying less money as far as labor, but it's all relative. But labor is cheaper than it is in the States, and income is cheaper. But it's really on like 4, 5, 6 things if you think about it. But I put this all in one: healthcare. I mean, not healthcare, but eye care. You get a pair of glasses, an eye exam for 2 people, $100. Teeth can worked on, $100. Give or take what needs to be done. So really, it's really there's with the benefits. Other than that, it's not. Other than that, it's the same. It's the same as it is. Furniture, I paid $200 for this couch and table and chairs. Quality? Well, what can I say? I got $200 quality also. Bottoms are out of them. I've had to put new springs in them. I've had to repair it. I bought chairs here. I paid a table and chairs. Chairs are falling apart. It's like it is anywhere. But the quality is not as good. But worst quality good anywhere, right? But anyway, I just want to say that. So Philippines is expensive. It's only good in service type oriented business and rent. A pair of pliers is going to cost you the same here as it is in the States. It's going to cost you more here. Imported goods is going to cost you more, but anything that you need like that, yeah, it's the same. Like this fan over here. You can go buy this fan at Walmart for $20. I got a fan right here in the corner. $20, right? This fan, $20. Well, it's the same price here. So, it's like where you're getting the advantage of living here is rent, service-oriented type businesses. Paint is expensive. It's the same paint that you would paint your house with. It's the same price. It's not any cheaper, and they don't have a quality paint here. They do have gloss and satin, but it's not quality paint. It's some guy mixing it up in the corner of his of the feed store, and he's mixing paint. I said I just need a good high gloss paint, and so we're looking at it, and I picked the color out for him. He said, "Well, I'll give you automotive paint." I said, "I don't want automotive paint. Because the problem with automotive paint, it gives you a high gloss." I said, "I know, and the sun doesn't fade it. I just want a good high gloss, good paint." And they don't have it. They just don't have it. Then USA. Mexico nowadays costs more to live there than it does in Philippines now. It does. My friend lives there. He lives in Las Piñas. And he told me day before yesterday he's living there cheaper than he did here in the Philippines. And remember Finch? He said he was saying. I think what happens is it depends on how you live there. Like it is here. The Western lifestyle. The cost of living in Mexico has gone up. Mark King in Australia, after being there last June, the shopping costs have found more expensive. If you live in Australia, that's even better. Living in the USA better than I am. Mark King, good morning. Joe and Jenny, good morning. How you doing this morning? Nice to see you. See you later, Jim. Did you send those emails? I'll look at them. Thank you so much, Jim. Have a good one, man. Thank you. Joe and Jenny, how's things going with you? They're living in USA. So what is so bad living in USA, Mark? There's been more people that was kidnapped there in Mexico the last 2 days. Yeah. Actually, I didn't want to say it. There's been a few here also, Mark. I didn't want to say it on the string. But yeah, same here. Hi, Joe and Jeannie. So how's things going here? Yeah, I'd be glad when the United States sends their troops here. They'll be scattered all over the place. They'll be down in CDO. They'll be all over the place. And I'd be glad to help police the things and so stop a lot of that. Doing good. Good to see you. Yeah, in fact, Mark, yeah, it's the same thing happening here, man. But it's all over the world that way. And I know what's going on in the States. But I could not believe in Roanoke, Alabama, crime rate. There's another couple places, Lafayette, some other places like that. It's not so good there. Dadeville is not so good there, right by there. But I was looking on the maps and I was going through cities and states and counties with low crime rate. Did you know in the U.S. there's some unforgotten gem cities? They have 10, 15,000 people, 20,000 people. It's really gems of cities, meaning that they're low crime, don't have incidents of anything that's affecting their schools. They have, they don't have any cases of bullying. I've been doing a lot of research on it. So there's still some great places in the States that you could live. Not necessarily in the cities, but on the outskirts. That you could live, and you could live probably a peaceful life. I was looking at even Philadelphia, Mississippi. I was looking at that place. It's not much to do there. It's like it is here, not much to do here. No crime. Great place. Inexpensive to live. Income is, 25,000. Just really great gem places. The toxic woman here. Oh, okay. Well, by women that believes in part with them, death to you part. Oh, yeah. Well, I understand that though, Mark. Well, there's like that. There's like that here too, but it's not as prevalent. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, there's some toxic. There's some guys going through some trouble like that, and that's one of the. I was going to do a video. 10 reasons people leave the Philippines. Expats leave. Number 1 on the list is relationship issues. Number 2 on the list is when you marry their family and all the immediate family, right? Number 3, I forget what number 3 or 4 is. Hold on. The infrastructure. Now, I was going to do this video. I've already done research on this. Infrastructure itself, people want to leave because they're used to Western lifestyle. Number 4, type A personality have a problem staying here. And understandably so, because they always want to go, and do, and you can, but you get bored with the same routine. And the study that I looked at, and what I looked at is, the study was out of Korea's doing a lot of studies here. It was talking about the group and how to do that, and that people find themselves, especially expats, get bored here because they're used to fast-paced lifestyle. Number 5 was, of course, relationship 5. What was the other? A couple other things I'm trying to think. But anyway, I have a list. I forget now. Not good about the USA, and when they do, they take half. Yeah. Good morning, Rick. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Rick? How are things with you? Yeah, you got to have that. You got to have it. And people just do that. People, it's the same. And, people turn sour for many different reasons. What causes you to turn sour? Because someone did harm to you, or someone made you angry, someone made you mad. And it makes you turn sour. It makes you upset, right? So that's the hard thing there. And I sometimes don't realize that it's easy to turn sour for many different reasons. Rick, I had a visitor. I think maybe it was a attempted maybe attack on Ruth. Anyway, a Filipino comes up to my side fence here. To get to the side fence, you got to go through a lot of grass and debris and tree limbs and everything else. In other words, he had to weasel his way in there to get to the fence and ask Ruth for money. Never said ayo or never said anything. Comes to the fence and Ruth says, "What? Whoa!" And Ruth's yelling because she's there doing laundry, and I heard her. I go out there and this guy attempting to put his foot up there. Now, he said he needed money. Well, so he sees me, he runs like a bullet. But here's the thing. Wow. It's middle of the day. Never know. It's like, wow. Kind of scary moment there. Never had that happen. Never had anything like this happen in my life. I had more incidents like this here. Getting tagged and clipped and hit by a motorcycle. And it's crazy. Threatened. It's crazy. Yeah, Tom is back on the air. Ogre, good morning. So how is Ogre doing? Nice to see you. How are things? How's your job? What's going on? You heading to Arizona? You got to do some mining? There is a guy did some mining there. He's an RVer. He's an old prospector, and he has a channel. It's very small. It only has like 100, 150 subscribers. Can't think of the name of it. Joe something. And he found gold there in Arizona. Of course, he did not say where he's at or anything about it, but he found some gold, and quite a bit of gold, a few $1,000s worth of gold. And so he was really excited. I would have been too. He said, "This is give me enough money I can eat a year on." And so that's what he does. He does that. And that's how he lives in his RV. He travels around out west somewhere. And he was in Arizona that time. But congratulations to him. But mining. So mining gold. Yeah, I'm itching now. I gotta get rid of this rash. Find me another doctor. We'll go 3 or 4. We'll find a good one after about the 5th one here that knows what they're doing. I just want somebody older in my new pair of shoes. No job. I got the ammonia out of my ore. Oh, okay. Waiting for the weather to process and see what happens. So mostly platinum and rhodium with some gold. What do you do with the platinum? Do you sell? I'm really innocent. I really don't know this over. So explain it to me. Do you sell the platinum and rhodium with, of course, gold sellable, but you sell platinum and rhodium? Hey, what's going on with the price of gold? You guys seeing what's going on with that? You guys, everybody's been watching the market. Mr. Somebody. Oh, so platinum and rhodium. Are you selling it? I miss seeing the car too. I actually miss that car. I like that car too. Spot on. They ran like a top, and it had power. And you know what? Where can you rebuild a motor? Oh, that's another positive thing about the Philippines. Rebuilding a motor for $200. I rebuilt that whole motor in that van. It's only 3-cylinder though, but that thing had power though, a turbo. You can hear you know push on. Oh, you hear that. Oh, and fast. Wherever the guy that bought that, he bought it for his wife. Guarantee they're happy with that. Ice cold air. Everything was good. So they sell the platinum and rhodium. Do you find that some of the platinum and rhodium is profitable, Ogre? I mean, you know more about this than I do, so that's really good. Tough for me, relationships you have the opposite sex, the sacred marriage, why you want to get married to someone is because you like to start a family. Yes. Any woman that is around my age, which is years ago, I have babies anymore, get married for me age before she look overseas. Yes. This is the second reason why U.S. bad. I see. Well, it's because of a relationship. It's not USA's fault. It's the women, right? Did USA turn the women that way? Maybe. I don't know. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. People, even I blame Philippines for this, that, and other, but really, Philippines had nothing to do with it. It's how I perceive it to be. And sometimes I have to catch myself, you know. It's not that guy's fault that he has to wait just like me on the bus line because the boss told him to wait another hour for taking off. It's not his fault. But that, you know, it's like, but everybody's yelling at the guy. Rhodium is over 10K a troy ounce. Whoa. Yeah, feminism did turn American women that way. Yes, it did. Feminism. Do you still get great snakes? You know what? No. Not saying they're not in there. We cleaned it up. We gutted it out. Took everything out of there. We put it back in there about a month ago. Everything was fine. We seem to get rat more than anything else. There's a lot of rat. Where there's rat, there's probably snakes. I haven't seen a snake. Nobody's seen a snake around here, but we have a lot of dogs, though, around us, so they pretty well take care of the snakes. Hopefully they'll take care of it. That cobra was a bad one right there. That's a deadly cobra there. Somebody got somebody. I was blessed. Lord blessed me, man, because when I picked up that garbage can lid, I heard the hissing, right? The warning me. And when I I felt it up because my hands are on the lid like this. And I felt somebody hitting the lid like this. Two hits. I go, what the heck is that? And I picked it up and I saw this cobra head going like this. And go, did I run like a girl and scream like a girl? Yep. Our was standing there. She saw it. She was like behind me though. She saw it. She run, Daddy, run! She's screaming. And I said, go get me my bolos. Well, guess where they're at? They're over in the corner of the garage. I said, go get Ruth. So Ruth, I said, go get the neighbor over there. He can get it. Ruth got out there. She's like, what? One got her a big long pole. Like a whip. She had that thing popping in the top of the head. All of a sudden that thing's going. Anyway, it tried to crawl the wall. It's about 6 foot long. It's trying to crawl the wall. It just ate a couple of frogs or a rat or something. It was heavy, so it couldn't get up the wall. And I said, oh my gosh, I've never seen a cobra like that. That thing is... So I did research on it, and the neighbor said, this is the deadliest snake in the world. And I said, I found that out after doing research. So I'm standing there on the phone shaking. But I had both my bolos in my hand out in that garage. But no, we've not seen any. Believe me, I go in the garage very hesitant now. And I look around before I do. That's the reason we have no trash around our property. There's no trash or nothing. There's no boxes or bins or any of that stuff here. It's all off property. And we told the neighbor over here, keep it clean because you don't want a cobra over there either. They were upset too about that cobra because she saw that cobra one day, and I guess it filtered over in our yard, but she didn't tell me she saw it. The only face I know that have both platinum rhodium and Cali converters, and I do not do that kind of stuff. I hear it's all the news most of every day now. Wow, I didn't know that. Solo traveler, journeyer, how you doing? In the USA, most people are priced out of the real estate market. Why you want to move there, Tom? Solo, how you doing? There's actually probably 5 reasons, but the main reason is I want Ruth to have opportunity to make more money, and I want RR to get better schools. Schools here are great and fantastic. They seem to go about 1/3 of the time, and she's in a college university that I'm paying for, and it's kind of like a private, semi-private school. And honestly, it's a good school, but it's not a good school. There's bullying and everything else there also, cussing every other day. It's just normal schools in the Philippines. Now, one of the reasons why I want to go back there is an opportunity. I want to go back and forth, and I want to make a little bit more money because I found myself after being here 7 years that I have in this kitty so much money, and then in this kitty, if I died tomorrow, there's not enough money for Ruth to last 5 years maybe. And that's not enough. That's not enough. Then I have my healthcare basket. This is my healthcare. The other main reason, honestly, is if you're 62 and above here, even 65, you can't get insurance. It's impossible. Now, they'll give you insurance, but the hospital, you may get a policy, but the hospitals will deny you entry until you prove that you have insurance. And most of the time they want cash. They don't want to deal with insurance companies because during COVID, they did not pay their bills. No insurance companies paid their Cigna, United, Russell, all the ones, everybody, Cross, Prime, everybody saying they paid their bills. Well, you go to the hospital now, you get in trouble, you're 65, 62, you're in good health, and you're going there, and you go in the hospital, and you're in the hospital. Hospital might say, you got insurance. Yes, I have this one. Well, we don't accept Pacific Prime anymore. I have Cigna. We don't accept that anymore. Well, why? Well, they didn't pay our bills. But say, for instance, you get in the hospital and everything is fine and you go ready to go out, a lot of things are happening here. The United States Embassy contacted me and told me to do a video on it. I did a video on it recently. They said that people are getting stuck in the hospitals because upon exit, they're telling them it's more money or we're not accepting the hospital, we're not insurance anymore, or they're taking advantage of the foreigners. White skin tax. So guys are finding themselves in bad situations and can't pay the hospital bills. It's happening more and more and more. Just today alone, I received 3 emails this morning. Guys are stuck in the hospitals and they can't get out unless they pay the bills. Well, they can't all have the money to pay this high, large $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 bill. One guy had one that was $30,000. Been in there a little over 3 weeks. It's $30,000. So he said, okay. So contact the embassy. The embassy requires if they help you pay the bill, you got to get out of the country. So you have to leave automatically. They're not going to pay a bill that you stay. So you got to get out of the country and you got to pay that money back. So one of the reasons why I want to get out of here is healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. Just like a lot of the other vloggers are leaving. And if you notice, now Thailand, all the other, Cambodia, all the other places are great and fine. You can go there and they'll accept your insurance and you're fine there. But here, it's really getting really hard for them to accept your insurance. And they will not, honestly, to be honest with you, you're stuck. You are literally stuck until. So that is really another reason. And honestly, I'm bored as heck here. And 90% of the guys, after here like a period of time like me, get bored. You're tired of the same old humdrum. So Vietnam is looking good in the picture. Cambodia, Thailand, Bali, Laos. So all that's looking really happier. But for me, Ruth wants to work. And if she goes to the States and stays there consecutively, on, off, or however, 5 years or so, she can actually draw Social Security off of my Social Security. So in her instance, she can work and make money and make extra money. And I need to refill the well also. There's only so much money that I have left in there that I hope to live another 10 years, at least 15 years, 20 years. And so there's not enough money in that kitty to sustain. If something bad happens today, I'm out of luck. If I have to go to the hospital, okay, I got enough money at the hospital, say up to $30,000, $40,000. That's it. Game's over. Then I have a kitty over here for Ruth, and it's only so much in there, and she might make it 5 years. That's it. There's no more. So you have to really think about it. If you're planning to get out of the States, and it's so bad there, it isn't so bad. I talked to Guy in yesterday. I said, why don't you just come here for a while, live here, say 2 years, a year. Then if you like it, then you go back to the States and sell your house, sell your car, sell everything, get out of your apartment, or whatever the deal is there. Stay here 6 months, live here, feel it, touch it, then go back, see if you like it, then come back and stay. But a lot of guys come here and they don't like it. I get the guys that are in trouble. I don't get the guys a lot of times say, hey man, I'm happy here, I'm happy I came here, and I plan on staying here forever here. I get the guys that say, man, I came here, I've been here 3 months, and I'm bored to heck, and I'm ready to get out of Dodge. What's a good country to go to? You know? So that's the reason why. It's gotten to the point that it's a great country, it's a great place to be, but hospitalization it's in trouble here. Yeah, hospitalization, no to none. The U.S. Embassy, we sent eight Americans back in December from the hospitals. And I had to contact the embassy. And the embassy sent them back. 8 Americans went back to. 35,000 Americans left in January and February of this year, went back to the States. According to U.S. Embassy, Paul told me, the consular, told me because of insurance and other reasons, but the main reason was insurance. They're leaving like drones because there's no place to go if you're sick and they accept you. And these insurance companies are accepting you. Sorry, I'm on the bandwagon. They accept you for insurance and you got a policy and they accept you at the hospital. Hospital says, pay the bill. You pay the bill and send it into the insurance companies. Insurance companies send you a check back and go, wait, you're $1,000 short. Why? Well, we don't cover that. We don't cover this. We don't cover that. So you're getting messed in the head right there. You're getting really $1,000 short. Well, why am I paying you $500 a month? I need to take that $500 a month, put it in the kitty, and not pay you anything then. And so that's what's happening. So it's all over the gambit. So people are leaving. 35,000 Americans left. United States citizens left the Philippines. According to the United States, to the USA Embassy, according to their figures, and the reason why is because of insurance. Number one reason. There's other reasons, fighting, battles, not getting along with your wife, put in jail, stuff happens. So, metal skull nuclear reactors. Oh, jet engines. That's only big cities, USA. I see land for sale all the time. That's under 10K. There was one, Mark King, 3,999 quarter acre. I have 1 quarter acre in Ocala, Florida, that I'm really closely looking at. It's 1 acre, and it's 4,999, high and dry, down from Walmart there in Ocala, off of State Road 40. They're wanting, which is a good price, and high and dry, and electric, and power, and already has septic on it. And I can park an RV. So, but I'm not going to buy something and not seeing it. But it's going to be gone. People are going to buy that lot. People, if you guys look on the news, look what's happening in the States. People are buying RVs. Well, right, is the reason why. It has a stove, refrigerator, air con, 2 TVs, comfortable, recliners, couch, chair, tables, chairs, stove. Has everything, all the luxuries of home where you don't have to do it in an apartment. Just saying, houses are crazy. Yeah, houses are crazy. So we look at doing the RV route. I'm buying an RV, stay in an RV, buy a lot, put the RV on it. If not, rent a lot for. I got already quotes. Good for 1 year. That if I come, I can stay $350 a month there in Port Orange, Florida, or I go to Texas, stay in Tyler, Texas, $400 a month, plus electric. Some include the electric, some don't, and $400 a month is fine. It comes with cable TV. It comes with everything, internet, free, whole 9 yards, and so that's the package that they have. It includes free water and sewer. If you need to live in close to big cities where all jobs are, and your jobs, so they ever buy a house, too. I would never buy a house. And buying an RV's really got me kind of nervous too, honestly. Why would I commit myself to an RV? But it's not like I'm gonna go buy a brand new one for $100,000. I mean, $250,000. I would probably buy something that is within, I would say $20,000, $30,000, something like that. So you can live, live. But they do have nice ones. I mean, had 10% charge. You need close to close. All the home builders want to take over the houses in the USA, so they're able to rent. So then, yeah. Two-story RV. That would be nice. Sperlin. Ponga checking in. Ponga. Good morning, Sperlin. How you doing, Sperlin? Nice to see you, man. Yeah, in fact, you could probably. Many guys are living in these tiny homes. Was it Home Depot? Had these tiny homes you could buy. Came with. It's already wired for electric and plumbing's already done. All you gotta do is just like this house. You just wire it. Source right there. You already had the power box, just like this house. And you just drop it, you're ready to rock and roll. 800 square feet, 700 square feet, like that. 2-story. Bedrooms upstairs, kitchen and bath downstairs. Really cute little houses. And I saw that. And they're going for $17,000, $22,000, something like that. Home Depot had a deal on that if you bought it and financed it through the Home Depot program, they gave you another discount on top of that, and or credit at the store. Like I forget what it was. It's like $500 or $800, something credit in the store to buy more stuff. Hello, Mark. You think it's the most I have talked in the chat and the live streams? Mark, I tell you, keep talking, man. I like it when you talk. I get a lot of good information from you. Sperlin, how are things with you? Yeah, in fact, Ruth and I really talked about that. What, and I got to tell you, I worry as a man. I worry. I worry for my goal is to make sure they're okay. It's always been to make sure whomever I'm with, same way. But they didn't see eye to eye to what they were not on the same page as me, my girls, women in the past. So Ruth, she's flexible. She don't care. She cares, but she don't care. But she wants to do stuff. I tell you what I want to do. She wants to go dumpster diving, but I know I'm joking. You guys seen those videos online, the dumpster diving in the States? But I did that years ago. I mean, years ago. Like 12 years ago, I used to dumpster dive. They unplug it from solar because don't die, get healthy, stay alive. You're needed. How are you going to survive there? Prices are ridiculous high in the U.S. 2/3 of the population broke in the States. No offense needed. It's okay. I understand. Yeah, staying healthy is going to be a key, like anything else. And 2/3 of the country broke. A lot of people are doing pretty well, but I understand what you're saying. I do. Good thing my hands cannot keep up with my brain, for I think a lot of more stuff when I talk. Marking, I understand that. Watch a video on an English guy who built a tiny house in the skip bin. Did a nice job and easy to move. Yeah. Yeah, it's spinning for me. Yeah, the internet would have happened. It died because I didn't have it on solar. And somewhere along the lines, it got unplugged from solar. I think the reason why we have this window machine on, and at nighttime, it gets used like crazy from people all over the neighborhood would use it. And what happens, I don't know, it seems to drain a lot of power off the batteries. So sometimes we'll unplug it and plug it into regular power. And so that's what happened there. And that's the reason why it was not plugged already in solar. I thought it was, but it's okay. I got it in solar now. So we're power's off, no power, but I have power because of the solar. The only thing in the house is not working is my air con, but everything else is fine. Lights, everything. Yeah, I just lost internet. San Francisco is living paycheck to paycheck. It can be good, yes. I thought it was my internet. Dave Bryant, how you doing? RV's high property taxes. No, high property tax. Yeah, exactly. A property tax on the, for looking at the lot, it was $22. $22 a year for the lot. You say, when you live in the USA, like sometimes move somewhere other place. It is sometimes. One of those two-story buses they have in UK RV maybe. I thought about buying a bus here in the Philippines and retrofit it and turn it into a house, like a RV. But the knowledge here is limited, and I don't have the knowledge on wiring and rewiring. I have knowledge on building and doing it, but I don't have knowledge on that. So it would take an expert to come in and do that, and they're not prepared for that here. They don't have that availability here to do that. But you could build a real nice RV from these old buses and make a two-story double-decker bus. I wish I had one of these buses in the States. I could really do some damage on it. Especially, I'd just park it in the parking lot of Home Depot and say, okay, let's go to work. Jokingly, but and I would do that. But yeah, I know. In fact, boy, I do know, and I do know it's not about the Philippines is that bad, and it's not bad. Not that the USA is that bad, but I think it's just more opportunity. And to be honest with you, healthcare itself, I'm really worried about that. And even though healthcare is not perfect there, but at least you have something. Some of the best doctors in the world live there, and everybody goes there for a reason, right? So here, you're just. I've seen so many people die that they shouldn't have died here. People sent to the hospital that they're setting out an ambulance an hour for stroke, and then they die in an ambulance because they're not able to have the doctors here to take care of them. I've seen that family. So I'm not going through that. I'm not gonna. Why should I stay in an environment that's like that? Really, come on. Is it better somewhere else? Probably, but I don't. I don't live somewhere else. I live here. So Yeah, double decker. Yeah, double decker RV would be really good. And it'd give you so much space. And you could run a double decker there in the States, no worries. If I had like I could take a double decker here, I use one, however many miles, take it to the States, drop it in my mechanic shop and say, okay, I'll make a deal with you. Help me out with the motor in this thing. Make sure it's all good. And then I could start doing it. I wouldn't hire anybody, but I know a couple of guys that would help me, especially with the wiring. Because I have friends in the RV industry would love something to do like that. Something to do. They're just riding around up around the country. They have expertise and they'll do it. They don't need the money. They'll do it just to do something. When I had my old 85 and I had a problem with my breakers always blowing. And we were out having steaks one night. All of us having steaks at my place. And the breaker blew. And he says, does that happen often? I said, it does. Not every day, but it happens often. He said, let me take a look at it. So he said, I got a breaker in my RV. You went got a breaker, and he comes back and he says, it's not that. He says, let me take a look at your air conditioner. Come to find out, there was a short. It's causing my air con. And he said, I'll take care of that. As we're eating the steak, he's up there working on my air conditioner. I said, man, what do I owe you for that? It's been about an hour. He goes, nothing. It's free. And he says, we're buddies. We don't do that. And they just do that. They help you. Oh, sure. I said, how about another steak another day? He says, yeah. He said, this time with a case of beer. So, double-decker buses are open top, very expensive to ship and buy. Yeah, I could never afford anything like that. I could never do anything like that. It would be something to wish. You can't afford the healthcare here you're able to use, but Mark, you can. You can afford it. You can afford it. It's either this, Mark. Come to the Philippines and have no insurance and nothing, and you have to come out of your pocket, or stay in the States and have Medicare and Medicaid, or something. Even if you have to buy another policy. At least you know you go to the hospital, they'll fix you. At least you know that they'll bill you. And at least you know you come out of there not dead when you should be alive. It happens here so much. A boulder came off a truck, hit my family member here, Ruth's uncle, in the chest. Took him to the hospital. They stayed there an hour in the ambulance. They couldn't accept. Sorry, sir, we don't have any equipment here. Sorry, we don't have a scanner. It's here on Thursday. You have to wait till Thursday. So he's in pain and agony, crying, just pain, dying. No one help him. So they said, we'll call an ambulance. Showed up about 40 minutes later. And then we got to take him back to Valencia, which is another 40 minutes. He gets there and he passes. Now, 2 hours, 3 hours from the time the accident happened, he's there because that's counting the time he goes from where he had the accident to the hospital. He dies. Now, could he live? Yeah. They did come to find out it crushed something in his lung, and it was something that he could have been repaired according to the doctor. He's just way too late. Day late, dollar short. And he's found himself, and I've seen it so many, and we had another family member go to the doctor, same situation. He died. Why? Because of health care. The hospital's not equipped. Number two is, and this is a major city. Set out an ambulance, a stroke, died in an ambulance. They wouldn't accept him because his insurance. They were in there, here's credit card. Well, it needs to have $10,000 on it before we accept you. What's up with that? What do you mean you need to have $10,000? Here's a credit card, accept him, get him in the room and take care of his heart. So he's sitting out in the van, he died. What in the world? And the van, there's nothing in the van, just a box. It's an ambulance, but it's a box. There's no oxygen, there's no you're seeing IVs, there's nothing here. Do they have a fully equipped ambulance here? Maybe. I've not seen one. Maybe in Davao. Maybe one. But God forbid, if 4 people or 5 people get sick at the same time. Maybe if they have 10, I don't know they even have that many. I don't know what they have. But that's the thing. They're not equipped here for any kind of emergencies. And most people die at an early age because of that. I don't want to be that guy. When I first came here, it was good. It fell. So that's the reason why. At least you go to the States. Hey, man. Heck, you can go to a clinic. You can go to a clinic. You can go to, I'm just going to say, you can go to Daytona Beach Clinic. Walk in the door and say, hey, man, I'm having chest pains. Can you help me out? There's a doctor there that can take a look at you and say, okay, hey, you're having a stroke. Now get an IV. Let's put an IV. Let's do this. Give him a shot of this. Let's take him, transport him to the hospital. So at least, because the clinic will see you. I know of 50 clinics there. And it hadn't been that many years since I've been in the States, guys. What, 2 years, 3 years? 3 years. It's been 3 years since I've been in the States. It's not like that I don't know what's going on there. I know what's going on there. Did it change a lot in 3 years? Yeah. Double-decker buses. I like to have homeowners insurance. Florida's through the roof. Mine went up 30%. Did it? Yeah, I was looking at RV insurance, for theft and getting robbed and things like that. It's about $100 a year, but it's just an RV. It's nothing that it was added onto my policy that I had with what's that called? Road assistance policy. No, I can't afford it at all. I go to the dentist, check my teeth for $20 here in the U.S. Yeah, that's cheap. I mean, there are ways that you can actually do this, and there's colleges that you can go to. There's a dental college there in Daytona that if you need a tooth worked on or something, there are kids going to school, and they put you in a chair, and a student's working on you with the guidance of a teacher, and it's not like the teacher says, hey, I'll be back, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. No, they're there the whole time. But it's inexpensive. It's like, I forget, I had a couple fillings done there and whatever, it was, I don't know, $50, something like that. Where a normal dentist would have been, $2,000, something like that. But yeah, there's things you can do. I mean, come on. And people tell me, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. I said, you can. So many things. Like, my friend couldn't have a haircut. Just didn't have the money to buy a haircut. I said, I'll buy you a haircut. He said, no, I'm not. I'm going down to college. I said, what college? He said, come with me. So I went down there with him. I got a haircut too. How much did it cost? $1. It's students learning to cut hair. And there's a teacher there. It's like, it's a group of girls, and the teacher says, okay, we're going to use him as the guinea pig today. I got a haircut too. $1. But there's many things you can do. If that did not work, there are other ways to get things done. If you get sick and get stuck paying several $1,000s to get a deductible, that's a big problem. Yeah. Here in the Philippines, if you get stuck and not able to pay a bill in the hospital, they'll hold you with a security guard. If you're lucky enough to get out of the hospital and able to pay the bill, you might seek other ways of doing it, because more than likely in time, your fund's going to dwindle down to nothing. In the States, you got to pay the 80% deductible, the 20% deductible and things like that. But here's something. All of that is negotiated. Everything's negotiated. I learned that a long time ago. My best friend is a doctor. It's Dr. Robert there in Daytona Beach, Florida. This hand, I fell off the roof of a Marriott. I don't know, it was high. I should not be here. But the Lord was with me. He actually guided me down, and I actually landed on my legs and like all fours, even though his hand was cut. The thing, what it did when I fell, it popped it open a little bit more. Anyway, long story short, in a hospital, 10 grand cash for the doctor who did the surgery. Overnight, it's $50,000. I had no insurance. I owned the business. So I'm there, and I said, okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. They says, well, you sell your car, you sell your house, you sell. I said, nah, I'm not going to do any of that. I said, get me to your boss. So I got to her boss. I said, I need to speak to your boss, the boss's boss. I said, no, it can't happen. I says, well, I'm going to pay this. I'm walking out here paying this bill today. So either you want to work it out with me, or you get no money, or you get money today. So I walked out of there. It was $49,800. I walked out of there paying $2,800 cash. $2,800. I said, we're negotiating an hour and a half. Finally, she just said, gave in. Says, what can you pay? I said, I got $2,800 on this credit card. I said, I'll just run $2,800 off of this. Okay. I said, I need the bill paid in full. Bill paid in full. Everything's negotiable. Dr. Robert taught me that. Even the guy that operated on my hand, he said, where'd you learn all this stuff? I said, my Dr. Robert told me. He said, all hospitals negotiable. My niece was in the hospital, and it was a high bill. I forget what the bill was. It was like, I don't know, $22,000 or something like that. So I get in there with her, and she's female problems, and her part was $22,000. She had to pay, and so I get in there and I negotiate with the guy. I says, no, listen. I'm here to pay the bill, but I'm not here to get raped. And I said, looking at this bill, and I'm going through it line by line. I'm not paying for this aspirin you guys charging her this amount of money for. I mean, come on. I'm not paying for this. A bag for to drain. You guys charging me $100 for a bag to drain the poison? I said, why don't we do this? I tell you what. Let me negotiate a price with you today and walk out of here. Anyway, we ended up paying about $2,000 on it, $22,000. And it's my niece, and my brother says, oh my God, I need you with me all my time. Everything's negotiable. So when people tell me, oh, you got to pay this, you got to pay that, you don't have to pay anything, guys. Come on. I get so upset when people tell me that. I get frustrated. When I had anything happen to me, everything's negotiable, even a mechanic in a mechanic shop. You know? But I'm loyal, and I'll stay with them forever. It's like I told Dr. Robert, you know, and I stayed with him. So I have a doctor I can go to. I have a source. I have a person that has my back, and he's just a general practitioner doctor. But he gave me such vital information in my life. Same thing with attorney. How many of you guys been in court? I have. I sued 22 times in 1 year because of my business that I had. This is how I hurt my hand. I had to clean restaurant hoods, and I had Marriott's. I had big contracts. Universal Studios was a contract of mine. I did all the Universal Studios hoods. And so I had 4 men that worked there every day, all year round. That's their job. But long story short, you find yourself in situations where you get sued because chemical and things hurt, fall off ladders, and all kinds of stuff. But everything is negotiated. I never hired an attorney. I hired an attorney only 3 times, and it was really to get me over the humps. And they taught me what to do. The Philippines, you can get sick in $1,000. In the Philippines, you can all fly what? Fly Guam. Yeah, you can fly, and they will accept you at Guam with Medicare and Medicaid. You also, Luke's is looking at getting Medicare here in the Philippines for American things. But the problem is here we go again. You got to pay the bill first. I'm not into paying the bills. I'm really not into paying the bills. I've been there, and so many times, let's just say the bill is $8,000. Well, how many men can come up with $8,000 to pay the bill that's living here? Not even a third, probably. Really. Because if they're living here for a reason to save money, and they don't have any money. And it's the reason they're living here. Because they did not find the sweet spot in the United States. They did not find that sweet place they could live. There's many places in the States you could live inexpensively. You don't have to go and spend all these thousands of dollars. There's ways of living inexpensively in the States. Even the homeless. Even the homeless is places they can go, but their mindset is set in a certain way that they're living on the street. But there's ways. I was homeless, guys, also back in the day. So I know exactly what that is. My mindset has changed so much. That's the reason why I got here, and I went to China, and I went to Japan, and I went all these other places to learn and to get ideas. Oh, that's right, my battery's low. Yeah, trying to get Medicare there. Yeah, they are trying to get it. Guys, I'm gonna have to call the stream short. My battery and my cable is not long enough to go over to the charger. So I'm gonna have to call the stream today. I'm sorry about that. I only got 5% left on this. God bless everybody, and thank you so much for always watching my videos. And thank you for always coming on. I'm sorry to call it short. I apologize. We're gonna try to come back on Wednesday. But since my phone's dying and no power in here. So I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. God bless, and thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. I really, 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 really appreciate it. So thank you guys. See you next time. I hate my batteries dying.